in sickness and in health. Today, I want to talk to you about when your marriage vow, the one that say in sickness and in health, has been challenged. You know, when we first get married, we're so excited, we're so happy. We're so happy when we say all those vows, to death do us part, and sickness and health, for better or worse. But we never imagined that one day those vows, we might be challenged with those same vows that we happily said I do to. We might be challenged with those vows throughout our marriage. Do we really mean I do? Do we really mean yes? I'm going to talk to you briefly about in sickness and in health. In 2020, I had a challenge. I had surgery on a ruptured disc. The surgery, I was going to be in the hospital for 4 days, get out of the hospital, go to rehab. From rehab, I was going to stay there 21 days and then go home for recovery. I knew that the surgery was painful. According to the surgeon, he told me it was going to be painful. But something happened. Things changed. Things changed. But stay with me. Stay with me. I want you to see just how good God is, who have allowed me to share this testimony. Not only that, allowed me to write my book, Women Majoring in Their Marriage. My book is at my website, www.𝐿_JANICE_FANCE.com. But I got out of the hospital just as expected, went to the rehab, got over to the rehab, and when I got to the rehab on the second or the third day, I think, there, I woke up early that morning, and reached to get my cup off of the tray to drink some water. When I reached, a sharp pain hit me in my chest. When I say a sharp pain hit me in my chest, I could not even reach the cup. I looked for the call button to call a nurse, couldn't even reach that. My door was shut, just me and God. And in that room, I just said, nurse, nurse, nurse. And a tech heard me, came to my room and said, can I help you? I said, please get my nurse. A pain has hit me in my chest. The nurse came in. I explained to her that she was trying to give me meds. I said, it has nothing to do with my surgery. It has nothing to do with my neck. Something has happened to my heart. She still insists on giving me medicine, letting my bed up, doing all these different things. And I said, ma'am, please dial 911. I said, I need you to call my husband. Call my husband, tell my husband that I'm sick. I want him to know this because they're going to be wondering what's happened to me. And it has nothing to do with this neck surgery. Something has happened to my heart. I did not panic. I was just trusting God. Then the nurse, the nurse would not call my husband. I asked the tech, I said, get my phone and call my husband. She said, what his number is? I could not remember his number. I told her what it was under. She found it. By the time she was getting ready to call, I said, no, hang up and dial 911. The nurse told the tech, you can't dial 911 from a patient phone. I said, well, you go and call 911. She left to go call 911 to get me some help and left me in the room with the tech. While I was in the room with the tech, there was a curtain, as if I was on a stage. There was a curtain that slowly was closing in, And I remember telling the tech 3 times, I said, I'm dying, I am dying. I remember saying that 3 times, and I remember looking into that tech eye as her eyes filled with water. The next thing I know is 3 days has passed, and I'm looking around, and I knew that I was in a hospital. I could tell that I was in a hospital. I was in critical ICU. I was told that I had coded, that I had been on a ventilator, had just gotten off the ventilator. I didn't even know any of that. The ventilator was breathing 100%. Listen to me carefully, was breathing 100% for me. Who wouldn't serve a God like this? 100% for me. I come to find out that they had called my husband and told my husband, call our 2 adult children and told my husband, your wife has coded. And he could not believe it because the night before he had just left me and I was doing fine other than in pain. And they said she's coded. Then they go over to meet the ambulance at the hospital. They go over to the hospital. They wouldn't let them see me or anything at the time. and they was working on me. So they had that long wait in the waiting room and came out to say she's on the ventilator. The ventilator's breathing 100% for her, and it's just a touch and go situation. We just have to wait and see how things go. How many know that God is so good? God is so good. I remember saying that I was dying, but when I did come to, I remember just doing a soul search and saying, Lord, they say I've been on a ventilator 3 days. And I was like, Lord, was my heart in the right place? Did I have any unforgiveness in my heart? And I just thank God for being in a good place with my space with my husband. We were in a good space. We was loving each other. The last time we had talked to each other, he had seen me, was the night before. We told each other that we love him. And that is so very important that we live each moment as it our last one, because you don't ever know. You might not even have a chance to say forgive me. Oh, I'm sorry. Get it right. If you got unforgiveness in your heart, get it right. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it. Having unforgiveness, Bishop Jake said, is like giving a person poison. No, like you're drinking poison and waiting to die. You're just slowly killing yourself. And I thank God for being in a good place. And when I say the marriage vow being challenged in sickness and in health, that was one of the vows that we happily said yes to. I do, I do. We said, never thinking that one day you might have to take care of that person. And that is what my husband had to do for me. When I got off that ventilator and got out the hospital, the ventilator it strips your muscles and your strength. I didn't have strength in my hand. I couldn't even take the top off a bottle, off the water bottle. My husband had to take the bottle off. He had to help me get dressed. It was a while before I could even drive because I had the neck surgery, and by them trying to resuscitate me, they was banging my neck and all that, pretty much messing up my surgery. But my husband never complained, never ever complained. He took care of me. He made sure I had food to eat. He was there for everything. When the therapist would come to the house, they had to give me therapy, helping me walk. I was on a walker. But all that time, I was like, Lord, this is not unto death. I said, this sickness not to death. I said, I will walk again. I will walk again. I will get up and I will walk again. I will be driving again. I will be able to do for myself. I barely could brush my teeth. The strength, I couldn't hold anything. The strength in my hand was so weak, and my legs was very weak. He had to help me up and down out of the bed. So you never know, married ladies. And I say ladies because my platform is for ladies, married ladies, those that want to thrive in marriage, not just one that survive. And it's for those that engage as well, that believe in God for their husband. I encourage you to wait on God. Wait on God, because marriage is not for the faint. It's challenging. Marriage is challenging. So you have to be ready for whatever season you're going through. And that was a season that we went through that. But all I can say is, but God, I can't say anything bad about my husband, or I wished he would have did that. And I know it take a lot to live with me, okay? It take a lot with me. I am very, very particular. When I say very, very particular, I'm very particular about cleanliness. I don't like no dirty kitchen. I don't like no dirty bathroom. I don't like no dust. I don't like no stack of piles of stuff, papers, clothes, everything. And my husband, he did that. He took care of me. He know what I like. He get up before the therapist come, get everything at the house in order, get me cleaned up so I'll be ready for my therapy, get itself ready. It was a challenging time. It was a challenging time, but I learned something from that challenge. I was like, God, I did say I do to this. He did say I do to this, but we never thought that those vows would be challenged. So I would say to you, married ladies, love on your husband like never before. You ask for him? Yes, you. You ask for him, you pray for him, love him like never before, because life is short and we don't know. I might not have been given a second chance, but God wasn't ready for me yet. And because of that, I'm continuing to thrive and asking God, what do you want me to do so that I can encourage people, inspire people, and mainly married women, because I was a young married 19-year-old bride with no blueprint to marriage. None whatsoever. There wasn't platforms like there are now. but God blessed us. We have celebrated 46 years. 46 years, God is good. So I want to encourage you, if your marriage vow being challenged for better or for worse, better or worse, you said, I do. Hang in there. If it's sickness and in health, hang in there. To death do us part. Somebody gonna have to leave somebody one day. And life goes on. Life goes on. Remember, God makes no mistake. And if you made it this far with me, I want to tell you, drop me a heart, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're there. And if you listen to the video and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Subscribe for more great content. Every week, I'm dropping gems out here to encourage married women. I was a young bride. My husband was a young groom. We trying to figure our way in life. Some young teenagers married, but God has kept our marriage. Have our marriage been perfect? No, but guess what? It's been thriving, and we continue to thrive. We continue to try ways, seek God ways to make it even better. We want to leave a legacy to the young generation, to our children, our grandchildren, to let them know that marriage is ordained of God and it's a divine covenant, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I do not say that lightly. So queens, love on your husbands like never before. You never know when one of those vows might be challenged. But guess what? You got this. You got this. Thank you.